My parents were into Sassoon Hospital. That's the first time I think I gave some kind of a gali.
Okay.
And my mother packed her baggage and we came to Pune. And was that my father couldn't afford the education of 2 children, so I went into a girls' convent school. Once we passed that first thing, then I think that no longer stayed. Always try to see the positive aspect of what can be done. If you think too much, you actually underperform. I think my biggest motivation is being in the workplace that I am is important. So I never have Monday blues. We do need the motivation if you've lost a patient. Success depends on how you see it really. And when you are happy, you are successful. AI is going to be a blessing. The ChatGPT wale doctors aane wale. I think all of us government college nahi jana hai. We don't want to go to a government hospital. Who used to abuse us. That's been the worst. We've seen the worst of what a disease can do. We have seen the worst of how people can behave. COVID was there.
I welcome you all in another podcast of our channel, and it is called as The Journey Stories, which simply means that we get to know about the journey of our guests and how they started, how it all happened, and how they are doing today. So today we have our guest, Dr. Vrushali Khadke. She is a pulmonologist and she expertises in her field, and we'll get to know more from her today. So let's welcome our guest today, Dr. Vrushali.
Thank you. Thank
Welcome,
you so
ma'am.
much. Thank you.
Let's get to know more about yourself.
Yeah,
from
sure.
beginning from or starting from your childhood. How was your childhood and what do you remember from your childhood days?
Okay, as a woman, I think I distinctly remember every day of my childhood. I
Okay.
think all women remember that. So I was born in a small village on the outskirts of Pune near Khadakwasa Dam.
Okay.
And my parents were into Sassoon Hospital. One was an X-ray technician, one was a staff nurse, and they used to travel every day from that place to Pune.
Okay.
As I became, I think, 3 years old, that's the first time I think I gave some kind of a gali.
Okay.
And my mother packed her baggage and we came to Pune, and since then I've been in Pune. Regards the thing, always been into, I think I'm blessed with my father's genes in terms of my brains. So yeah, we started off with it was first a small school till my primary, and then we shifted to another school.
Okay.
I think reason that time was that my father couldn't afford the education of 2 children, so I went into a girls' convent school, which was free education up to my 12th standard.
Okay.
But I can tell you the switch has only made me better. So I have a lot of other things besides my academics, which were honed in that school. So I started singing. I was a part of the choir, the main choir. Then I got into athletics, into basketball, and
Great.
even dances and stuff like that. So I can say my all-round development happened when I shifted to Mount Carmel Convent High School, which was my school.
Wow.
So I think things happened for the best eventually at that point in time. Yeah, we were a close-knit family, nuclear family. My parents used to work night shifts also at that point in time in Sassoon Hospital.
Okay.
So I remember at the age of 6, when I was in my first standard, me and my brother, who was 5 then, we stayed alone in the house with neighbors around. So that was the kind of house we've grown up in.
Right. A good neighborhood.
A good neighborhood, yes, absolutely. Means my parents could just tell them, we stayed in a rented place, and they just said that, take care of them till the time we are back home.
Right.
And I remember how they used to shuffle their duties, so someone should be around us at that point in time. Yeah, and also been through the small like private creche kind of a thing when both of them were not around, and I think that has made us independent. Both me and my brother, I can speak for him as well. And we've seen the kind of efforts of our working class. Both of us seen our parents, I can't say struggles basically, but how they managed to do everything.
Correct.
And we never needed to be told, hey kara, or do this kind of a thing. We just, it eventually grew up upon us, yes.
That's a very good thing. I mean, India is known for that, basically. I mean, small families or nuclear families, for that matter, or joint families. Children are protected, and
yes. So
it's a very good memory.
I have absolutely good memory. I remember all my neighbors, everything from which place I've moved to 3 other places eventually. Okay. I remember every subtle detail of who's been there and everything.
Nice. Great to know about your childhood days. And do you still have contact with your childhood friends? I mean, I'm sure
Yes.
there were many friends you have had.
Absolutely. So the person who's been friends with me since I was 0 days and she was a year old is still my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, and all my school friends from the previous school, from my current school, my college friends, MBBS, my chess TB days, my medicine days. I think I'm in touch with most of them.
Wow, that's a wonderful thing to know.
Yeah,
I mean, not everyone has their friends in touch or in contact
I think
nowadays.
majority of my friends, I'm in touch with everybody.
Wow. I mean, just think that everyone is on WhatsApp today, but at least that kind of contact
social
is there.
media has got back people who possibly had kind of grown distant to.
Correct.
Yeah, but true. Even before that also, yeah, with phone numbers, when I think, there was a point in time I remembered every damn phone number. Now, if you ask me, I won't remember my number.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point in time, yes, with all the friends, we made it a point to be in touch. And like I said, social media has helped get back friends who were not in touch. We've just meeting people through and all like that kind of thing. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So there are good points to social media.
How were your college days? What do you specifically remember about your college days? Any memories?
So in college, basically, see, I mean, I had made up of mind that I'm going to take the science part of it. So college days was at that point of, I particularly remember that my father is an ex-Ferguson person, and I refused to go to Ferguson. It was further 4 kilometers from SP College.
Okay.
So from a convent school going into SP College was a different thing altogether, because language was not a barrier, but suddenly everything started being in Marathi. I mean, the teaching also of English was in Marathi. And that was a different thing. And from a protected 50 children per class, you suddenly went to a class which was 200 students.
Okay.
I doubt if the teachers ever knew us. I mean, 201 class was huge, and there were like, I think 8 divisions. So there were 1,600 people who were at that point in time, doing the science part of 11th, 12th.
In one batch? In one batch. Okay.
So that kind of a thing. So right from a connect to kind of a disconnect, which happened, but also we kind of built up, a group of friends eventually, and who studied together. And at our point, there was not much of, having extra tuitions. Okay. For your medicine or this did start at our point in time, but whatever we learned was largely in the college. College itself. Okay. Yes. Okay.
So that time,
yes, and
college going was
college is that way. Not, I think we didn't do much of the other part, non-academic stuff at that point. And I did play basketball and some amount of athletics. But largely, that took a back seat in those 2 years at the college.
Eventually.
Yes. So for those who could do, they managed. But I think I didn't particularly.
Okay. And was it then while you were studying, you got your calling to become a doctor, or when was it exactly?
So doctor has been something which is ingrained in me as far as I remember.
Okay.
I mean, I think the only 2 things which I wanted to do in life was, one, I wanted to be a doctor. Okay. Second, I wanted to run a creche. If the doctors didn't turn up. I mean, so I don't know when it struck, but always it has been doctor. Maybe in my generation it was doctor or engineer. So for me, doctor stuck. No teacher, nothing else really in that point in time.
Okay.
So that has been my calling, and I particularly looked forward to being a doctor. Even so, my though I did take the M part of PCMB, but I have always wanted to be a doctor. Possibly because my parents were from that background.
Okay.
But if I can tell you that after I took the admission, largely everyone from BJ and Sassoon told me not to take the doctor part of it, because I had also had admission to PICT computer engineering.
Okay.
And that time in our times, there used to be court cases or stay orders on our admission process. So I can tell you that my batch particularly, we started our MBBS a year after getting admission to MBBS.
Wow.
Reason because there was a stay order. Some division wanted more seats in Pune University.
Okay.
And so I did a year of computer engineering in PICT also in that time, because you never knew if they started getting that 30% from others, then possibly I wouldn't have featured. And I
Correct.
always wanted to do only MBBS. I didn't have any
Okay.
other BDS or BHMS or BHMS in my mind. So either it was MBBS or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was your internal aspiration to become, not, it was not forced by the parents.
Never.
It was just a inspiration from the
In fact,
parents.
like I said, all their colleagues from BJ who were doctors who actually were telling me, don't. There's nothing much in left. And since they knew I was doing PICT computer, they were like, that is a better branch. Out of 4.5 years, you'll be out. 4 years, you'll be out, and you'll already be earning, and here you'll still be continuing. But
Right.
for
it's a long journey.
it was a
to
long
become
journey.
to become a
But
doctor.
if you ask me, even now, I am happy doing this.
It happily happened.
Happily, absolutely. I wouldn't imagine myself in front of a computer abroad or any place, and this is what I have.
Wonderful. And would you please share your preparation that you did, or your strategy for studying for this degree?
I think back then competition was less because population was less. There was not much, I think, travel interstates. So for us, I can tell you that what sufficed was a general good reading of whatever was in front of us. We didn't have internet and all that, obviously. So we used to have at least a couple of books which we used to follow.
Okay.
So that has what has worked for us. So like for me, you can tell me one, I could remember things which I read in one go.
Okay.
I had the habit of finishing whatever has been done in college or school, go back, do it quite quickly. And not only memorizing, I had a habit of writing down things, drawing diagrams, and probably making a flow chart for most things. So this has been a regular thing for me, had been a regular thing for me. And I think that helped me tremendously. So I never had to do that 8 hours or 10 hours or 14 hours or whatever people talk about business.
Right.
Even before my exams, I could watch Filmfare Awards, which my father used to encourage me. You've studied a lot. Do you want to watch some TV? Kind. We used to listen to the morning songs before going for my exam. 10 o'clock used to be the exam.
Right.
And I think there used to be, not Bharati, there used to be something which used to play early in the morning on radio, where all the latest songs used to be played for an hour. So, that was the kind of, ease with which we could study back then. I think largely daily study works.
Exactly.
And I said there was not much competition. There was not much of internet. Now you have a lot of things which are going around. So possibly you will have to, distraction one. And I have seen one of my niece who uses it for her, it's not a distraction for her. She uses it to Google things around that subject. So they become much better in terms of reading beyond what is in the syllabus, and possibly the extrapolatory part of it is something which they gain much more knowledge in.
Depends upon individual to individual.
Yeah, but largely it's a distraction. Distraction. Even I can vouch it's a distraction for me now. But yes, it's a distraction.
Yes. And the standard operating procedure we can call of study, coming back home, just remembering what was taught in the college and just reciting
that
it
is thing. And I think one more thing is that back then, I possibly am made of the kind, I didn't take stress for anything. It used to not be like, will I be able to do it? No. Do this. Don't try to remember what is going on. A good amount of, I think, play used to be a part of our household.
Correct.
And for most of us kids, so that was a good relaxation for us back then. I do not remember being told what do you want to be later in life, or there's a lot to be done.
Right. There was no pressure as such.
There was no pressure as such. That I think that was not there, which now inherently comes with as soon as the kid is in the first standard, there's a pressure to perform, which was possibly not there with us. I think I bless my parents for not having that pressure on me and my brother, and even my family members. Then it was just that you're doing good, just keep it up. That kind of an attitude. Yes.
Wonderful. That really helps.
Yeah. So I do not remember stress unless we went to MBBS, when there was a stress at university. And if MBBS has 50% passing, it is not 35%.
Okay.
So and it was 50%. I think in engineering it was 40%. Most important, you never get full marks. So getting those 5 out of 10 used to also be a big issue.
Okay.
So that is the first time I think I took my stress, the first exam, university exam which we gave, because it was not a college, it was always a university exam.
Okay.
And that was the time I think, yes, some stress did build upon us. Once we passed that first thing, then I think that no longer stayed, yes.
Okay. How did you feel when you actually became a doctor? You completed your degree and you got your degree. How did you feel that point of time? Was it okay? I became a doctor, or
I mean, it was
you were happy?
okay. I became a doctor.
Not a big deal.
And it is not just 50%, it is much
Okay.
more than that. It was not really a big deal back
Okay.
then. Big deal was to see the joy in my parents' face.
Right.
Especially my father, because he wanted to become a doctor. He did get admission to be a doctor, but he couldn't because of some family problems.
Okay.
So I think there was a kind of, I was proud
Great.
that I could do something which he
You
wanted to do.
made him happy.
And let me tell you, he has never told me that, you become a doctor or anything.
Okay. That's important.
That
One
was
way.
important. So it is somewhere later in life when I realized that he had got admission and he couldn't pursue that for some family
Okay.
issues. And so it was an absolutely joy for me. So except for my brother, who was the unhappy person in the house, he was like, you would be better off doing engineering. I think the entire family I was the first doctor in the house for them.
Wow.
So it was a big day for them. So that thing made me happy, So, I mean, we were more of a family thing kind of a thing. So it was a great thing in that terms. Yeah, but
Wonderful.
nothing like, you become a doctor unless you met your school friends. Oh, you become a doctor. Yeah, so
That happens. That happens.
Yeah, that happens. You've done something. So I became a doctor.
Well, most of people becoming a doctor is a very big task, and it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. Then
That's why.
yes, and for some of them it was like, yeah, we knew you were going to be a doctor. When, it was as easy for them, for the parents also, my friends, others. So yeah, back then possibly for few it was great. For us it was, once you got into it, it was not much of a big deal.
Big deal. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because we had to focus on the next line immediately. What specialty now? Yeah.
Correct. If at all you face pressure, how do you handle it? Because being into this very critical profession, how do you handle pressure?
So I was just telling you that I have dabbled in a lot besides academics, and I think those things are responsible for me to have a very level head. Besides being, I think, born with it kind of a thing. Generally, don't take any pressure. Always try to see the positive aspect of what can be done, and when you focus on that, so suppose I know for a patient, like let me say during the swine flu epidemic and things, we had patients of ARDS. So I knew that 80% they are not going to survive. But I have always made it a point that my team work for that 20%. We also tell the patient's relatives to focus on that 20%. So that has helped me, So I just completely do not look at that 80%. 20% is where what else can be done to salvage the patient. Because I can tell you that suppose at any point I have been stressed, which has happened in a couple of times when there were other pressures also. So you kind of do not see what could be done, which was a small sign or something which I possibly could have worked on that, and maybe I would have gained that 20% for another 10 days. So that I think has been ingrained us, and I think all doctors, majority of us, we have been trained to not take the stress. So we do feel for the patient. Many of us have been affected. So maybe some of us, like let me take me for example, I could never do pediatrics because it affects me. So I never took up, though I was a topper in my batch for pediatrics, I never took that up. Reason because it would have been that, I would have felt for every child and possibly become more emotionally involved. So empathy has been ingrained, but we have been taught to be level-headed. And most importantly, all of us have realized over time that if you think too much, you actually underperform. You might miss out on science, and that might not be good for you or your patient or the family.
Correct.
So yes, we do not take that kind of a stress. The other thing is when we have what is known as a multidisciplinary discussion, we discuss among ourselves, and each one points out to something positive of that. And like I said, in my non-academic background, that is my reading, I am into singing, dancing, and even sports. All of this ensures that we do not take stress even subconsciously.
Correct.
We have so many other things or outlets where we remain quite comfortable in our thought process.
That is very important.
That's actually very important, absolutely.
Kind of meditation or
yes.
yoga.
So that me
practices.
time, yoga, yes, for people who follow yoga. So so many things. There are many of my friends who paint. There are some who knit, they do crochets, they do different kind of things. There are many people who go and do various kind of Krav Maga and defense things, and of course cricket is the national hobby, which is with most of the men. There's badminton, and also I think that 1 hour of relaxation, me time, when you are not thinking much, it allows you from getting clouded. Your judgment doesn't get clouded.
Correct.
You think more clearly, and I think that for an individual, forget a doctor, but for an individual, it's a very important part that you balance that part of your life.
Correct.
Yeah, so that helps us maintain some kind of stability, mental stability. Yes.
Exactly. Very well said. How do you keep yourself motivated on a daily basis, if we say that, or whenever you feel a little low, how do you motivate yourself?
I think my biggest motivation is being in the workplace that I am in.
Okay.
Right now we were just discussing about work-life balance amongst our peers and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So it got me thinking that most of me and my colleagues or my friends who have pursued, we do not think of our work as our work really. I mean, it is possibly something we are very passionate about. And therefore, for us, being there is important. So I never have Monday blues. I mean, okay, we don't have a Sunday off, but we don't have Monday blues. Oh, we have to go back and work. No,
Right.
because it's what we are. It's a part of us. So largely, you can say is that we don't need a motivation. If you love what you're doing, I think there's nothing to keep you motivated. Yeah, we do need the motivation if you've lost a patient.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there is a point when you start doubting yourself. Okay, could you have done this better? But largely, we are in the habit of auditing ourselves. So after anything, where we could have done different, and what does the statistics show, and what we could have done better. So that is that point, maybe for that a day or two where you kind of feel a little low and you need something to motivate. But in that time, you get one such patient back who has come out from a very difficult situation, then that it is a motivating itself. That is,
Right.
you managed to get that person. This was one odd thing, because not everything is in your hand. First,
Correct.
you have to realize that destiny, each person, each 5 fingers are not same. So, you can't have the same patient and other patient behaving the same manner. So I think motivation is there in our field.
Right.
If we are losing out on something, we have something which shows us that no, you have done something which has helped some other person. So that is how the motivation comes.
Okay.
And the other part of the motivation is your peers, your friends, even your students. We have conversations. They are difficult conversations. They are easy conversations. They are conversations on how things could have been dealt. And someone, even the smallest person, can give you some kind of motivation.
Correct.
So that is, I think I can say that there are ways when we possibly feel down, we're motivated in that manner. Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, so it was a good thing that you didn't go to IT or didn't. It would have been
Seriously, I
Monday
would
blues
say it would have been no Monday blues, and I think seriously people would have lost a good doctor.
then. Yes, you can say
I mean,
that.
because like I said, I am passionate about what I do. So if anyone asks me, do you want to change the profession?
Not now.
No, not now, never.
Never. Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy, so if I'm angry at home, so my kids will like, go to some hospital of yours. That will cheer you up.
Okay.
When they have the habit of saying, did you finish this hospital, this you finish, maybe go there because we know that you are the happiest there.
Wow. How do you handle success now? I mean,
I think, success depends on how you see it really. So for some people, success might be just, having the roti kapda makan kind of a thing. For me, being alive after seeing whatever I have seen, being with my friends, my family, my family first, obviously, my kids and everything. And success, how do you actually quantify success is my question. Like I said, I would rather be happy. And when you are happy, you are successful. Now, success for some might mean having a big house, big car. Nothing for me. I have something to look forward to every day. I have something which gives me happiness every day. I think that is success for any individual. And when I can do it, it becomes morally bound on me that I give it to others. So what I always say is that forget the success part of it, but once I have gone to a level where I can give, I can get those number of patients, I can help people. For me, success comes in the form of creating more students. So I believe in teaching people who go to a level which is much way above me. That is success for most of us doctors, possibly like for me, who I'm into partially into teaching as well. and them treating a case is more of a success for me rather than anything. And I always also look upon it as an investment my own self, that suppose I need something down the line, I need to have a batch or a bunch of people whom I know can trust me, and I don't have to use my brains that time. Maybe I might not be that coherent at that point of time, or even if I am, but there's someone else who will handling, and my body will be more positive in responding
Correct.
to the line of treatment which will be given. So I think,
Let's not hope that.
No, it's not a hope. You have to be prepared for everything in life.
Exactly.
People say, why this happened to me? I said, tomorrow I'm crossing the road, someone might just hit me. So you never think why this has happened to me. If it has happened, what are the avenues in which you can ensure that you control it or you can treat it?
Correct. Very well. I'm sure you might be very busy with your day-to-day schedule and the activities that you do. So how do you handle that? I mean, are you... you said you feel happy while you visit your favorite places, and
so
how do you handle it?
I think one, I said that every time when I tell them, no, if you want to that your happiness, your me time, 1 hour less of sleep is what you should be willing to sacrifice.
Okay.
So I'm a gymmer. We do group of workouts. I'm a dancer. I used to teach Zumba. At a point of time, I was a Zumba instructor, which now, unfortunately, I can't manage the time. Not because I can't manage the time. Others people cannot manage that time. Okay. And I think if you think, I have this to do, that to do, and this is too much,
right.
That becomes a problem.
So the stress should not jump in.
Yes. For me, I am into a consultancy, so I do not work at any place. So I have flexible timings.
Okay.
So I understand people who are in office wouldn't have that kind of a timing, but for me, it's a flexible timing. So I plan my day accordingly, and I take as much work which is possible for me to do, balancing whatever family time or children time I can give.
Okay.
So in that way, if you ask me, I do not have much to plan about.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because like I said, I do not work someplace. I can manage my time. I can flip one visit for the other, flip for the ICU versus the other. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So
and that ways, that's not a fixed time schedule. So I can do things once in a while. You have an emergency where it might be a bit of an issue, but I think you deal with it when it comes. Right. I mean, you don't think much about it. What will I do if this happens or that doesn't happen? Yeah. Unfortunately, my patients bear with me. So some extra waiting time here and there is. So this is for the non-emergency patients. Emergency will never have to. I'll be there at whatever point an hour it is there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that is never a problem. I taken my kid also at a point when he was 4 years old, because there was an emergency and I couldn't leave him home. So we've done that. That's okay. Yeah.
Yes, as you've been saying that you take part of multiple activities and so. So my next question is that how do you relax? I mean, do you do something separate to relax yourself, or just the things that you like? Anything? Specifically.
I would call that relaxation. Okay, yeah. I mean, so pursuing my other hobbies. So I do an hour or 2 hours of dance per week. That is a relaxation for me. My kids are into music, so we have our jamming session, which may be screaming session or whatever session. But yeah, that is another area of relaxing. We just chat. The family is relaxing. Just sitting back, thinking on your day can be a relaxing thing. Sometimes the thing changes. Sometimes I used to go just to a coffee shop, drink coffee and watch people around is a relaxation for me. So nice. You're just sitting and doing nothing is also kind of a relaxation.
Exactly.
Listening to music, old music, watching some movie. I mean, I think that has passed maybe. Yeah. So that's relaxation. What I miss out on is reading books.
Okay.
Yeah, that we used to, I mean, that was a part of my thing. So not medical books I'm speaking about. Besides that, yeah, that I possibly don't get as much time with the other things, but I think I'm doing other things too much. So that's okay.
With balances. Okay.
It's by kind of balancing, yes.
Okay. What can you mention as your hobbies in particular? I mean, that's your hobby. Apart from just liking something, or you perform as a hobby?
My hobby is, like I said, dance is my hobby. singing in the sense I sing for myself, I record as well. That's a hobby
Okay.
for me.
So you learn professionally singing?
No, I
or
haven't learned professionally.
just liking?
I tried doing that,
Okay.
but I don't have someone close by. The time there
Okay.
doesn't match. So rather than being frustrated, I stopped it because then I used to have an online class on. I did it for a couple of months.
Okay.
But issue is sometimes the voice goes and something goes. Then
Yes.
rather than then frustration starts creeping in.
Yes.
So I go for an actual dance class.
Okay.
I'm learning the Latin styles of dancing.
Okay.
And in Zumba, we did the fitness part of dance, kind of, which I do once a week.
Okay.
And the other thing is my workouts. We have a group workout in the morning, which has everything, aerobics, weights, and things like that. That is another form of that's a hobby for me in terms of maintaining myself, maybe more to be around my kids and scream at them. Yeah, so hobby is largely the dance part of it.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. How do you see the future of doctors, especially in this AI-driven world? How would they be performing?
Only the AI-driven world, or it is generally the generation which I can speak about? I don't know. I mean, like I was just telling that I work. It's my passion, and most of my friends will, I think, vouch for it that we just love our work. Somehow now there's kind of a distinction that this is work part and this is not relaxation.
Okay.
And I think that is something I am a little sore about with this current generation and the generation before that. बहुत काम है, बहुत काम है. Yeah, so the problem with this generation is they're smart. They have too much distraction.
Right.
They know a lot of stuff right from the beginning. At the same time, they have gone into the zone of itna hi kaam karna hai. Uske beyond kaam is not kaam. So they might not want emergency branches. Okay. And they like I said, they are very smart. They have a lot of competition. So they have to deal with a lot to get to whatever level they have. Like I said, in my times it was not much, but now the competition is much higher, though there are much more seats and everything. So are they exposed to that kind of a teaching is also a issue. So we had in my fortunately I was blessed with teachers who were really into teaching. They did their private practice, but they love teaching. And I think that thing has boiled down to us also. We tried to manage that time, though I can say in the last 6 months, I have not been as regular, but on my rounds, I do the teaching a lot. AI, if you ask me, AI is going to be a blessing for people who know how to use the AI.
Correct.
So, there will be algorithms which will be laid down. Like we do an SOP. Generally, we have SOPs for emergency management. We have SOPs and we have things. So if you feed an algorithm in AI, I think it will help a doctor who knows what is to be done. Most important is the right command. For that, you have to have your basic knowledge. So AI will help. It will make some things easier. I am also privy to the fact that people are like, "Acha chat GPT wale doctors aane wale." So I think that has always been a part, that there are some who've been driven into the thing versus those some who have come passionately. And I can still vouch that there are a lot of people who are passionate about what they do. And actually AI is going to help rather than, they might, so there's certain algorithm in your brain because if in India, they do these on calls. And any doctor can be working who is doing their post-graduation, can be working at a stretch for maybe 36 plus 48 hours sometimes without breaks, and that is a problem on the brain. So you might fatigue and you might forget something. So AI might help in that way, that you do not miss out on those subtle points once the algorithm is in place.
Correct.
It is more to find out what happens in one place. So for labs, for basic thing, fever workup or something, you might have an algorithm which will not forget or miss out on small things.
Correct.
And it will help you get things together. So rather than searching through a lot of things, it will, if you just put the right command, you get all of those things together, and it will actually cut down on your working time. It will be important because we say there are golden hours in treatment, be it the stroke, be it a sepsis or anything. And once you are into this zone, you possibly, you can also salvage on that golden hour. The doctor is also helped, or your team. Suppose you're not there, the team can go through the algorithm, and it is going to be a good part. Only thing is, the generation which thinks that this work is too much work is the only issue. I think that is boiled down to that part of it. Yes.
Yeah,
So I
what
can
you
say, looking at my kids, okay, I'm not speaking about anybody else before people have objections to what is
Right.
being said.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's an opinion. That's observation.
I see the observation, the
Yeah.
difference in what students I had 10 years back, what I have now, and what I'm going to foresee eventually. That is the thing. Yes.
And that approach is changing.
It
kind
changes.
Of.
Yes.
The love for profession is just going towards how much money I'm making from the profession.
Yes. Actually, if you see many of them start Googling that how much is the salary of this individual versus that individual. Right. Yeah. So back then it used to be a graph. So even my friends have sat to prove graphs. So one of my friend, she saw the graph. So she loved psychiatry, but she saw that the graph was quite flat for a longish time. And so then she went into gynecology and obstetrics, which I think is a booming branch in Indian setting. And she's right, she's doing really well. But I mean, there was someone at that point of time the vision was there, where we were like, oh, we love this. We love this, we do. We never even thought how much it is going to generate revenue eventually. So many of us have done the love part of it. She's calculated everything and done.
That's a nice way.
That was a nice way. So I mean, it was good to have friends with that also. By then.
Yeah, you have the overall knowledge of
and why not because like we say, we have to fend for whoever is there, be it our parents, be it our children or whatever. It can't be that the love for your work where you do not really get the kind of thing to give them the necessary things in life. Yes.
Correct.
So that balance has to be there. Yes.
Some passions may not feed the stomach completely.
Yes. So that you can do as a side business.
How do you think medical colleges have been training them or preparing them to become a doctor or a good doctor, or
frankly I might face some kind of this for this, but I think the medical colleges are growing by in number. If you've seen, there has been increase in the number of seats, but there's not as much teaching staff.
Okay
The buildings are there, the infrastructure is not there.
Okay
I think all of y'all government college nahi jana hai. We don't want to go to a government hospital. Let me tell you, actually those people who are toppers do their post-graduation from there. Then why the apathy towards government? So if someone asks me and they're not affording, I will ensure that they go to Sassoon Medical Hospital, the hospital basically. And I said, see, I think the only problem over there is the availability of the infrastructure. And that is something which comes from a government will and stuff like that. So, to get into BJ, you had to be featured in the highest ranking people. So, private, the thing is, there's a mismatch in terms of all the infrastructure is available. But now with the different degrees which are there, you have, even private, you have the same brain. There's not a drain, basically. The same brains are coming into the private sector also. Reason being the bond in the government colleges, which is not there in the private sector. And I think it gives you a best of both. Availability of infrastructure and not available. So like I was just saying, I deviated a little. The thing was that in the colleges, we don't have as much teaching staff. So if suppose I want to go and teach in a particular college, if I go there, I'm going to teach pulmonology. I need some basic stuff, which might not always be there. So that is a deficit which has to be filled. Just because I cannot practice outside and I go into a teaching thing also has to be, filled. And there should be enough remuneration on that front also by whichever college to ensure that, you have good teaching faculty. And like we have continuous credit points for us also. We have to upgrade ourselves. And we have a 5-year renewal of our registration. Similar thing should be into the teaching faculty. I had particularly spoken about this in tuberculosis. The treatment is changing or not changing. There is a lot of things which are going on. So I keep on saying that every time there should be a 6-monthly an upgrade of your knowledge. Then only you should be able to manage TB so that you have enough control over whatever is the current problem in India. That is the thing. So I think that helps. That is the major problem. So there are students who are good. There are some teachers who are good, but largely maintaining them, retaining them in that place so that they continue their teaching is a problem because I think not all the infrastructure or the basic infrastructure is not available at most places.
Okay.
That is the problem. Yes.
We hope that becomes available. We need good doctors in India, and
See, I think there is a path which is ongoing, so for people, I can tell you some people who I know have been through an infrastructure which is not good, so they have gone out of their way to other places to go and learn.
okay,
So we have people with that will and that thing also.
that's great.
But yes, that is going to be a bit of a deficiency because the number of doctors who are needed for a population is still quite less in India.
So the thing lies about the infrastructure in the colleges itself, and
I think that will hold true for most professions.
Yeah.
It's not only the doctors; it will hold true for most
professions. Yes.
But then there are many institutions which are mushrooming, but do they have that kind of a quality of education? I think that is going to be. Like I said, I was blessed to have really good teachers who encouraged us, not only taught us, but encouraged us with the other ways of life, as well as the empathy of life, which is, I think, something which we got. And if you ask my colleagues who have learned from the same PG teacher, we also try to do the same to our students. Impart the same to our students. So yeah, I think somewhere that circle is going to be completed, but let's hope.
Exactly. So yes, as we were discussing, the colleges and their infrastructure was the next question only. Are they well equipped to deal with the upcoming AI thing? And
okay, so I think not the government, but the private institutions have ensured that they're becoming AI compatible. There are many institutions, particularly down south, and who have ingrained the AI into the daily things. So, for example, like if you ask me, I spend quite a lot of time explaining how some medicine is to be taken, what are the side effects of the medicine, particularly for us, inhalation techniques, ensuring the patient is inhaling properly. This we need to reinforce every single time. So AI will help me a great in that, because now in a particular, I just recently met a doctor from down south and who outside his OPD has a chatbot. So he described it as she's more beautiful than me. She's got a beautiful name than me. So the patient just asks the questions and there are these answers which are ready. So, you can see more number of patients and all the questions are answered, and suppose a patient asks a new question, you have another new thing. So you know that what else has to be fed into the AI. So I think, yes, AI is going to, help. So software particularly is helping us keep our records much better. Correct. We can generate some good data from the country in regards, we are deficient in that largely because we didn't have modes of, recording or keeping them in this.
Correct.
But AI will help us in all these things, even for suppose some preparations. Suppose I have to, some patient has to undergo some surgery or I have to prepare for some procedure where I have a new staff. So if you have the thing in the set in the computer and the stuff like that, so even they will be better prepared, and I think that saves out a lot on, like you have that repeat training kind of modules. Correct. But this will help us. Yes.
Correct. That's really good. I mean, if it is helping, then
yeah, it will help. So, like I just said, I use ChatGPT, but I said if the guy doesn't know what command to give or what to ask to ChatGPT, it's going to be hovering around here and there.
Correct. So it has to be specific.
Yes.
Do you recall any of your favorite books when you used to read, apart from the medical ones, obviously? Any good books that you may recall that you've read?
I think, we've all grown through a generation where till this level it was we had more of the detective and Hardy Boys, and I don't know what was the women's one. Then we had Mallory Tars for the females. Eventually it was Robin Cook. Even pre-medicine, I used to read Robin Cook. And I'm more into the law kind of, so Perry Mason. So that was a series. Then we had Agatha Christie and things like that. If you ask me later, it is The Good Habits. The Atomic Habits was one book which was nice. And I've also read a couple of, I'm in a peacock among penguins kind of a thing, where everyone wants to be the peacock, and how the penguin actually also has an importance. So certain books which have which help you also not try to conform to a particular idea of success. um, that, and I think I've largely read books which have been, no-brainer kinds,
Okay.
and or the detective or the medical thing, kinds, and I think what I think that's I said that's what I told you. Last 3 years I've not read any new books. There are quite a
Okay.
few planted on my this, but they are quite so. Once who was that? I think the Holy Grail came in, so then the Krishna key came from Indian aspect. So those are intriguing books, which actually
Okay.
give you into an insight into how your temples also function and why you feel good in the center of the
Center of
temple,
the
how
temple, yes.
the architecture is made around. So yeah, something
So
of
there
that
was
kind.
not a specific liking towards any particular subject while you used to read.
No. Anything which was readable increased. I mean, that time I didn't know, but it honed my English skills, conversation kinds, and possibly for us, when in convent schools we have to write a lot about character sketches, and we had books. So we have Tale of Two Cities. We had Pride and Prejudice was a part of our curriculum.
Okay.
So we had this every year. We had a book on which we would then dwell deeper into why the character did what or why this situation came around. So, I mean, they have not always been learning books, but they have been learning in a different kind of a thing. Yeah,
Correct.
increasing your knowledge and just the basic thing that you keep on reading and understand people's perspectives.
Makes your perspective towards life better.
Or you stop being judgmental. So if you've seen that this person, but I wouldn't have done this manner. So I know that person has a different perspective. So I need not criticize or I need not be too gaga about it or either ways. Just balance. I think that is another place where balance comes in.
Great.
Yeah.
Finally, I would ask for your tips for aspiring doctors in the medical field or aspiring students who are into the process of becoming doctors. What would be your tips for them?
I think you should be a doctor if you really love being in the profession. Don't be forced into something you do not want. I think um, besides doctors and engineers, there's a lot which can be done on every front. Right from, I can speak about the event management people who come to our conferences to everything. Basically, whatever you do, it has to be with a passion. Sometimes in the initial times, you do not understand whether this was my calling. Okay. And it's like an arranged marriage versus a love marriage, but eventually you do learn to love that subject, and you do learn to adjust. And I think rather than adjusting, I would say that if you develop the liking or the love for that subject or whatever you're doing, and it keeps you happy. Studies are absolutely, even there's nothing to speak that I cannot do without studies. You have to read a lot. There's a lot which is going on in medicine. So I think I was just speaking to my students today that 10 years back, my professor used to scream at me if I wrote it was a psychological case, after you've ruled out everything. He says, just because we do not know, till date it has not been discovered, avoid using that word. So though you've written it as a last thing, never use that. So that is how much everything is growing. Medicine is also growing by leaps and bounds. The things which used to fall in the basket of this is psychological has now been found to have some problem, that kind of a thing. So it is that vast. So you have to be ready in whatever profession, even for the doctors particularly, that you have to read a lot. You have to keep yourself upgraded. You have to read. One good way of is having students and teaching them, because they ask you a question and then you go and read, and then it can be we have it as a group affair. Right. Suppose something new has come in, they read it up for me and then we discuss it. So you don't miss out on those points. Largely it's just that you trust yourself, go in with the process, maintain your passion about the subject. If you at any point feel that this is not my calling, just leave it at that point, and rather than just being pushed into it deeper and deeper. I think, like I said, that will hold for most professions and things like that. Okay. And always have something which is like to deal with the stress which comes. I mean, there's a lot of stress, particularly when we are into critical care and emergencies and things like that. It's quite difficult, when you lose someone. It's really is difficult. It puts us on in a reverse mode for quite some time. So then, being more, following my other passions, and having that, that family time. So if you must have seen in your family, most doctors miss out on all the things, and people are like, yeah, itna kya hai, kinds. But it used to be a part of all this. Like I just told you that I used to be working sometimes 36, and for my brother's wedding, I had to do a 72-hour shift to get time off for his wedding. And I was dozing, let me tell you. Frankly, I was dozing behind when they called me to tie the knot as the time I reached there, but I was dozing all the time in the room inside. So if you can manage, take time out and manage that when you can. So like for me, if I don't have an emergency, I make it a time now. Even in the Ganpati days, 6:30 is the time I go out because my kids are having some society functions which I need to attend. So if you manage to balance that part of you, then you are in a much better zone and you are happy. So you can take the stresses which come with your profession. You can not worry about not having the work-life balance part of it. I think that is how it will help you grow as an individual also, and you have something to fall back upon whenever, besides your regular work, you have something to fall back upon which kind of relaxes you also, and which gives you an all-round look towards your life. You can't be always that I am in this zone or I have to do this tomorrow, this kind of a thing. Yeah. So you don't think much about what is to be done. Yeah, overthinking kind of is stemmed at when you have a lot of things to do. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
That was really.
Maybe.
So, was really, really nice to understand all these things from you.
And see, this we mature, and in my younger age, I might have been more short-tempered and things like that. But I've eventually realized it doesn't. So my batch of students, which is, ma'am, you have not seen the ma'am which was 10 years back. And I realized that my pressures were shooting. You all were not getting affected. So I have a different way of dealing with them. So that comes with maturity. That no one can teach you.
Correct.
That comes as you see what is going around, and it comes with more experience and a particular level age also. I think, yeah. So
nice. One small question. I mean, let's not recall those days or that time of that lockdown, but just out of curiosity, and related to your your specialization, COVID was really psychological, or it was actually affecting, or that's upon you if you want to answer.
COVID was there. I lost my mother to COVID, and I was working on the same bed next to another patient. I put her final drain in. And the CPR, I was holding on to the drain that my mother will come back. And I had a patient who was 38 years old next door, and I immediately went back to that patient. So COVID was there. I handled 2 hospitals. One as so I did even during H1N1, I was the nodal officer for one particular hospital where we used to manage the beds and things like that. Plus we used to manage the patients. And COVID, what happened was the sheer thing. So now you have flu and you have so many other viruses. It was just that the virus, it spread to quite a few patients. Now, if I have in my family, it's 1-to-1. So here it was more exponential. And just because we were never exposed to that kind of a virus, then our immunity played up. So what happened was, it was not mental. Yeah, anything on your body, if you are stressed, your body reacts in a different manner. You do not have the positive thing. So it just boils down to your inflammation and your hormones and whatever is necessary for your defense. It does take a thing. In COVID, what I saw was, because people were so secluded and isolated, so there was a different level of stress. But I can tell you that out of 113 patients used to become bad, 85 didn't. So it was just the sheer number. I can tell you the number of calls I used to get. The patient is in the ambulance with a 40 oxygen, and there is not a single bed. We have done what is known as, this is a single oxygen outlet. We have created pipes where, one oxygen outlet could give oxygen to 2 people. We've had floor beds. We have done. So it was not psychological. Where it started was a thing. I think Pune is known to have H1N1 started, swine flu started with us. COVID was our first case. So the numbers were largely there. Yeah, they were there at any point of time. But there was a good 80% who didn't need hospitalization, who used to abuse us. Let me tell you that these people, they used to abuse us, or their suppose if it's a society, the society chairman used to abuse us. How come you're sending this patient? This person doesn't need hospitalization. So like I just said, there were 13 out of 100 who needed hospitalization. There were the other 20 who were for a short period of time. But like I told you, that at that point it was difficult. I mean, people just refused to let go. And there were everything was short. So obviously everybody's parents were calling them back. There's no need to work. Who's told you that kind?
Correct.
So we were working understaffed at, I think, 70%. Plus, if I got COVID and you were with me, all of you were off duty for another 14 days. So that is how it kind of went down. So COVID was real. Unfortunately, now we have so many COVIDs. So today morning, I jabbed someone in one hospital. Isko isolation mein kyun rakha? Now it is a part and parcel of a life. Now we are not going to react in that manner.
Right.
Yeah. So this is like, we have certain things with CDC where the viruses and bacteria which can be used for mass destruction.
Okay.
Why? Because your body has not gotten exposed. Therefore, you will react in a different manner. Yes.
Correct.
And for any disease, the negative thoughts and a mental where you are scared, it does affect your outcome. Yeah. But finally, it was genetics. It was the cardiac part of it. So people were exposed at different points in time. So that did affect how one person did versus another did not.
Okay. It was different for everyone. I mean,
Yes, yes,
different for
yes.
individual to individual.
Yeah. So my father came home with all comorbidities. My mother couldn't. So it's
I'm really sorry.
it was no. I mean, it's been there, done that, and like we were still back at a workplaces in the same bed next to the same place and things like that. So I still see people. Yesterday also someone came. Oh, COVID vaccine ke baad I have started getting more cold, and I know it kind of hurts that people still are in that zone where they have so much distrust and misinformation,
Right.
which is there. I'm like, that vaccine saved so many people. I just wish it was available for others who
Couldn't survive.
Yes,
Yeah.
couldn't survive. Yes.
But
And I just hope there's no such virus again.
ever again.
Ever again. Yes. I mean, it destroyed lives. I've seen just families being wiped out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah, so many of them. So the first time it was elderly, second time it spared no one. 30-year-old, 20-year-olds,
Nobody.
pregnant ladies, in the family, the entire parents, sister gone and small child surviving. I mean, we've seen the works. We've seen that. We have seen the worst. We've seen the worst of what a disease can do. We have seen the worst of how people can behave and be selfish. But we know that we can come over. So it is a phase. We have seen that we can tide over anything which comes across. Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank you. It was a
generous
pleasure.
time and generous knowledge, sharing everything that you know about and whatever we had to know from you. So it was really wonderful to have you here today on our channel, The Journey Stories. And
thank you so much. I mean, if it helps even one person, it is worth
Absolutely.
this. Yes, absolutely. And I think it's a great thing that you're covering the journeys of various people. You should even cover journeys of people who have not been as successful but happy.
Sure.
I think happiness is what is more important than success.
Absolutely. We'll continue. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.